Hi, my name is Orion, and I'm a founder of BurnCam Medical. We are a telemedicine service focused for initial patient evaluations as well as for follow-up care. BurnCam enables secure and simple telemedicine services, connecting healthcare providers and patients over messaging, private video conferencing, and HIPAA-compliant image sharing. Let me walk you through what we can do together. To begin with, let's register an account. BurnCam is browser-based telemedicine, which means that you can open up Firefox or Chrome and access our servers like any other web page. It works best on Firefox and Chrome and seems to do pretty well on Safari. You may have some difficulties if you're using an older browser like Internet Explorer. For the purposes of this demonstration, I will be using Chrome. So let's go to burncammedical.com and request an account. So you can do that either by going to the navigation bar here and clicking on Provider, or going down to Providers and clicking on Register here. This will bring you to a contact form where you can input some information and help us link up with you and your institution. So we'll start with our name here. I'll put in my information, Orion Wilmerding. Email address. This is the email address you would like to be contacted at and that you would like to have associated with your account. So we'll go with mine here. Putting in your title or your position here is also helpful to us. So we'll put in emergency physician, pretending that I'm a doctor for a second. And what is the institution that you are associated with? And what is your institutional ID? So this would allow us to help get in contact with your hospital or your clinic and verify who you are and make sure that we're issuing an account to the right person. So let's go with BurnCam Hospital and our fake institutional ID of 01. When you've double checked your email address and every other bit of information, you can simply hit send, and we will be getting in touch with you and your institution as soon as we can. Once we have verified your details, we will send you an email inviting you to join us. The email will look something like this. The only difference is going to be that you have your own unique username and your own unique temporary password. So you can either follow this link or go back to our website and hit login here or here and follow us to provider.burncammedical.com. Now enter the username, or you can use the email address that you received the message at, and let's copy and paste our temporary password in. Hit login. All right. That temporary password will work one time and one time only, so you can set up your own new password. So to make sure that we have a secure password, let's use some uppercase, some lowercase numbers, and a symbol thrown in there for good measure. We'll check that you've got the password correct, and let's hit create new password. Wonderful, password has been set. Let's log into the dashboard with that newly created password. And just to let you see, this also works with the username that you were given. So let's log in. Let's create our first patient. Inviting a patient to join BurnCam is quick and simple. The only information required is their email address. So let's click Create New Patient Case in the bottom right-hand corner, and we're brought to this page. There's a lot of information that you can add in here about the patient, but the only thing you need is their email. So let's add in my email address here. Make sure that it's the right email address, confirm it, because this is how your patient will be able to access their information as well as contact you. All of this other information, if you know it at the time, great, but if you're in the heat of the moment and you're trying to get somebody into the system quickly and get a consult, then that can be filled in later. For the moment, we're going to leave it for later. All we have to do is hit Create Case, and we have a case. Once we've created our patient, we're going to be brought to the patient dashboard, and that's going to show an overview of all of the information that we've put in so far, which wasn't actually that much information. So now we know a little bit more about our patient. Let's go back in and edit that. So you can click here on Edit and go in and modify some information. So now we know the patient's name is not just Jane Doe, it's actually John Doe. We've got the patient's sex still as male. And let's change their birth date to their actual birth date, not just the default. And let's go to an injury source. So this person had a stovetop burn. So we'll have stove as the cause of the injury. That was made on today. The admitting group is our hospital, so that was BurnCam Hospital. And the estimated severity, well, it looks like a second-degree burn as a emergency physician. I'll stake that as our injury severity, and maybe 1% of the body surface area. Looks about right. Comorbidities, well, I think that the patient's history showed up that they have diabetes, which might complicate the injury. And for the moment, there are no notes, so we're just going to update this and go from there. Let's get a picture of what we're looking at. So we're going to go over from our dashboard to Files. And we're going to see that this changes to File Upload. So here you're able to share images securely. And there's two ways to do it. We'll start with uploading an image from our device. So let's go to Choose File. Depending on your browser, it might be Browse. We're in Chrome, so this is going to show us Choose File. Let's go over here and pick out this burn injury. Hit Open. Now you see this updates down here to second-degree burn.jpg, and we're going to hit Upload. If we go back to our files, we can see that now we have our first image being sent into the file system. Now that we have an image uploaded, we can add specific notes to that image. We've got our date of when it was taken at the top, but we can get a little bit more specific. So let's go here and say the location is the hand. The surface area that is visible here is going to be 0.7% of the body, and additional notes. Let's say that this is painful injury, likely partial thickness, second degree. And when you've added anything you want, you can hit Update. This will upload to the file, and you can see your edits here. And again, if you need to go back, you can simply click on Edit again and re-update. It can sometimes be useful to add annotations directly to our image. To do so, you can click on the paint icon down here, which brings up an image. You can select your paintbrush color, go with black, and you can trace. That didn't work out quite so well, so I'm going to undo that and try again. All right, we can trace the outline of our injury here. We can add some notes like second degree, and we can add in a little bit more, so we'll change our color to be red, and we'll increase the size of our pen, and we'll trace some of this other area back here where the skin has not peeled off. We can erase that entire if we want to start over, or we can simply hit Save Image and upload that. To view the annotation, you can hit Paint View, which will show the annotations in situ, and you can hide it once more. This method for file upload is pretty good when you're transferring pictures from, say, the SD card of a camera to your laptop and then to BurnCam. However, if you're on a mobile, we cannot guarantee the privacy of images stored on a phone's memory. Images stored there may be backed up to, let's say, Google's servers or Apple's servers, which are not HIPAA compliant. This risks the patient's data. Instead, however, BurnCam allows you to snap an image and upload it directly without saving anything to the camera roll or getting copied by a service provider. To do this, you can click on the camera icon down at the bottom right. Here, it's important to make sure that you are using a modern browser like Chrome or Firefox, and it may ask you for your permissions, such as camera and microphone. If you are happy with the image, you can click the icon down here to snap a photo, and that will freeze the image. I'm not really happy with that way it came out because this injury is going to be on my hand, so we'll click on the camera icon to retake the photo, and we'll add in my hand here, clicking on Snap Photo. That's better, so we'll add a Upload Photo here. This button will bring us back to the patient overview page, but this will do the same once we've uploaded our image and saved it to the cloud. Let's go over to our file system, and we can now see the first image that we took and the image that we took using our device's camera. Same thing applies for annotation and adding notes. Now we have an idea of what the injury actually looks like. Let's open up our Conversations tab and begin talking with our patient. So if you click over here on Conversations, you can see that we have one conversation for this case. That's with our patient, John Doe. However, we haven't actually said anything to them yet. Let's fix that. Looks painful. I'm going to contact my colleague, who is a burn specialist, and they'll help to take care of you. Like I said, I am going to need to get a colleague of mine to take a look at this injury who is a specialist in burns. To invite someone to consult on a case, you can go up into the upper right-hand corner and hit New. This will open up a new window, which you can use the filter to find the doctor or provider that you are looking for. Our friend Hermes is a burn specialist and is going to help us take care of this injury. You can click on this icon to create a new conversation. Once you've done that, if you open up Conversations, we can see that we now have two conversations inside this case. The conversation with our patient, John Doe, and if we switch over to the active conversation for Hermes, we can ask for his help. Hermes, can you help take a look at this injury? You may find that you want to add additional people to an active conversation. So if we switch over to Hermes, we can add some additional providers, such as a physical therapist or perhaps some nurses. Let's hit Add here and select a physical therapist, Artemis, and our occupational therapist, Athena, who are going to help out. For good measure, we can also add the patient on so that they can keep in contact with their treatment and any updates. Click Invite at the very bottom, and everyone will be added to this case and to this conversation. We can see that yes, they have been successfully updated, and they can see all of the message history. BurnCam also enables video conferencing so that you can communicate privately and securely with your patients or other providers in a consult. If you return to the messaging screen, we can select an active conversation that we want to call. We'll stick with a patient in this case, and click on the Call button in the upper right-hand corner. Now this is going to create a new window. You may need to enable the pop-up for your browser, and again you may need to enable the camera and microphone so that you can access the camera and microphone on your device. You can see if this is successful that your face will appear in the bottom right hand of the screen. Now I'm going to mute this so that I don't get feedback as I join with my phone to give you an idea of what this would look like in real practice. If you want to join the other user would receive a Enter Room button in the chat. Now note this is a two-person conference room, two-person only. This makes sure that you are talking to the right person when they come online. So they'd click on this button and they would be able to join, and I'll pull up on the phone this new version. All right, there we have it. So you can see the patient and have a conversation with them. And like any standard conference app, you can turn on or off various microphones and cameras. And when you are ready to finish the call, you can click on this button with the phone icon to hang up. The window will close, bringing us back to the patient overview page. And with that, we've gone through our functionality. And that's it, folks. BurnCam connects providers and patients through secure telemedicine services, including messaging, file sharing, and video conferencing. Telemedicine at your fingertips.